welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. I'm Chris, and this is Xrossstitch, and today is Tuesday, March the 29th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 44. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I hope that you're having a good week thus far. We're only 2 days in, 3 days in if you count from Sunday. Some people do count from Sunday. They count the week beginning on Sunday. And but some people count it from Monday. What do you do? Do you count it from Sunday or Monday? I think of Sunday as the weekend, but that's another story. This is so tangential. Let me go back to the not scripted introduction. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. As you can tell, I'm a little bit crazy, but I'm very happy to have you here. I hope that you like what you see. This is a channel primarily about cross-stitching, but to say it is only about cross-stitching would be erroneous. It is not just about cross-stitching, it's about that and a whole lot more. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back to the neighborhood. Thank you for visiting with me once again this week. I hope that you enjoy what is to come, and I hope that if you are new, you enjoyed enough to like and subscribe and ring the bell and do all the things that one does when one is perusing Flosstube. I know that you have a choice when you fly Flosstube Airlines, and I thank you for choosing me. See, too much coffee, you guys, just too much coffee. But no chainsaws today. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back 1 week and watch that video because it will be very self-explanatory. Each week we begin Xrossstitch by naming Handstanding Cat. Handstanding Cat is the top of Tiki Tree of 1,000 Faces, a piece of teak driftwood that is a decorative item in my home. It used to be behind me in the videos. Now it's in a completely different room because if you've noticed, I'm trying broadcasting from my little stitchy sewy room, the study, as I like to call it. I got lots of compliments on the video last week as far as the lighting and the setting goes. So, you know, I like to change it up. As I said very, very early on in my channel, I may broadcast from the bathroom before you know it. It's very echoey in there though, so probably we wouldn't do that. Anyway, Handstanding Cat is the top of that piece of teak driftwood. It looks like Handstanding Cat, and I asked for names and you gave me so many, there were too many to choose just one. So I sound like a game show host. So now I put them on the wheel and I spin the wheel. This week, Handstanding Cat. This week, Handstanding Cat the name comes from my viewer, Sarah C. Sarah C. And this is a relatively new addition to the wheel. You know, as you give me these suggestions, I add them. And this is a relatively new addition. This week, Sarah has named Handstanding Cat Scrat. Scrat. I got nothing on that one. It kind of sounds like scat cat, or muskrat, scrat. It's a very interesting name, scrat. It sounds like something we eat in the South. Because, you know, everything we eat in the South has weird names. Chitlins, cracklin, tripe. Not that I eat any of those. Actually, I do like cracklin bread. Cracklin's good, but not chitlins. No. My grandmother once fed me brains and eggs. She didn't tell me until after it was over. Wasn't too pleased about that. Anyway, Handstanding Cat this week is named Scrat. Thank you, Sarah. So last week I was filming during what I thought to you was a cacophony of sound. And many of you said that you could only hear it if you were listening to the video on headphones, which I'm very happy about. Those of you who weren't, couldn't, and I'm glad about that. You seem to enjoy my reactions. They were all genuine, I assure you. And if you were on the headphones, you know exactly what I was talking about. I had to live through that for another solid day. It was rough, y'all. Rough. But it's over now. And everything is quiet. And the only thing I hear outside are the tinkling of my wind chimes and the occasional passing airplane, just like right now, which you're not going to be able to hear. I hear it, but you can't hear it. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, everything is, but thank you for letting me know about the noise. I always want to know. I love your feedback. I love your comments. And even though I'm sadly behind in responding, I will catch up, and I do read each and every one, and they bring me so much joy. So do keep them coming. Do. Last week, I committed a very big faux pas. And when I showed you this adorable Celtic Mill Hill kit, the Scottish Santa that I received as a sweet, sweet gift from my viewer, Amber O, my synapses were so discombobulated from the noise outside that I didn't even realize something I knew. Amber is the wonderful Flosstuber Rogue Mama Stitcher. Dear friend. And so I'm shouting her out once again because this thing is fabulous and I can't wait to begin it. But Amber is Rogue Mama Stitcher, and if you haven't watched Rogue Mama Stitcher, check her out because she's delightful. She has, she does some of the cleanest cross-stitching I honestly have ever seen. And she does beautiful, cute, whimsical things. And I just really enjoy watching her. So pleasant to watch. She also does an incredible, I mentioned this before, she has done an incredible series of Christmas ornaments for stockings, fully cross-stitched stockings for members of her family that are just stunning. So Amber, I'm charging you to mention which video you go through those so that when people find you, they'll know which video to refer back to, because that is an enjoyable Flosstube experience, seeing all those stockings. So thank you once again for this, and I can't wait to begin it. Now on to the cross-stitching. So the photos that you saw at the beginning of this video are roses from my actual garden. And how does that tie into cross-stitching? Well, it's spring, and spring has sprung in Southern California. We got a wonderful day of rain all day long, on and off yesterday. My garden is so happy right now. Everything in it is going, yay! And we needed it badly. We need about another week of that. But the reason I'm bringing the roses up is because they're beautiful. They're in full bloom. But I've been gardening a lot over the past week because I've had to. You know, you have to do winter cleanup and you have to do a lot of things. And I have a pretty substantial, not food, I don't grow fruits or vegetables, but it's all decorative. I have crepe myrtles and roses and different kinds of sages and rosemary and all kinds of things, all native to California. And I've been in the garden a lot. And I haven't done a lot of stitching. I really haven't. But that's just how it went this week. I'm not going to apologize for it because my garden's looking really good. But I did want to show you what I did work on. It is the wonderful Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty. This was the 2021 Mystery Stitch Along. My friend Kathy at the Flosstube channel, To Dye House, and I are sponsoring the hashtag StillFreshFruitSal. For those of you who are working on it this year, just like the two of us are doing, and I'm behind, and I'm going to be behind. I didn't finish February, and I'm not going to finish March either. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But that's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Well, first of all, let me just show you. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, I'm not really working on the February exclusively or the March exclusively. I've now kind of combined those two. And before I even move on into April, I'm going to finish these two up. So you may see, go look at Kathy, because she's already got March done. But I love it. This is inspired by Delft pottery, as I've said many times before. I'm loving how it's turning out. As you can see what I'm going to do with the March pattern. I'm doing the darkest blue, the darkest royal blue for the outline, and then I'm going to go back in with the pure variegated DMC to fill in some of those tulips, I think they are. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. I'll keep plodding along on this. You know, you get behind, you just do, because you know, life sometimes intercedes in the way of our stitching, but I've been happy to be gardening. To be honest with you, I haven't regretted not stitching much this week because I love being out in my garden. And, you know, I grew up in the deep South in a rural little town, so nature and the outdoors was always really big to me, and I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to have the garden that I have now. So that's what I worked on this week. I'm going to be working on the Garden Grow Stitch Along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch this week, so you'll see it next week. You'll see more of this. And those are the only two things I'm probably going to be working on. I don't have a huge rotation as a floss tuber, but that's okay. I'm loving what I'm doing, and that's what it's all about. So Fruits of Plenty, Modern Folk Embroidery, my minuscule but very satisfying progress on that. This week I'm doing something a little different. I'm just off kilter. This month has been an off kilter month for me because I've just been jettisoned out of the normal framework and schedule that I normally take here with the channel. But that's okay, because today I'm doing a special Neighbor's Corner. Not an episode, just one. I'm going to bring you something from one particular neighbor. But it's really fun, and was one of the first Neighbor's Corner submissions that I received. And this week, we are going to hear a story and see some things from our neighbor, Jen C. And Jen is wonderful, a longtime viewer of the channel. We write each other very often. I love hearing from all of you. And she and I are somewhat of email pals. But Jen sent me these photographs, and she wanted me to introduce you to her dad, Ray. And this is Ray. Ray is a veteran of the United States Navy. And she said he doesn't specifically have a hobby. He piddles around the house and you know, toodles around the yard, and just like me. I do that. I kind of, you know, you just do things around the house and around the garden, but he doesn't have a specific hobby. So she said it's rather hard to make things for him or craft things for him or to buy things for him for gifts, because there's nothing specific, because he's a man of many talents and many interests. So she learned how to make blankets. No-sew fleece blankets, which apparently is a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. But she learned how to make those. And then she ran across some fleece fabric at her local craft store that was a U.S. Navy print fabric. And she hit the jackpot. She had the idea. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this blanket for my dad. Well, she did that. She sent it to him. He loved it, and her mother sent her a photograph of her dad, Ray, in his favorite recliner with the blanket on top of him very proudly. And Jen was crushed because she realized that her father, being a tall man, the blanket didn't cover his feet. Well, that was not going to suffice for Jen. Oh no. She was going to have a blanket that covered her father's feet. So she returned to that craft store, waited for it to open, at the doors. Like she wrote and said, I was waiting for them to open the store because she was on a mission. She was going to get that fleece. It's like Jason and the Golden Fleece. And she went and she got a lot of it and she took it to the cutting table, laid it all there. And the woman at the cutting counter said, what are you making with this? And Jen told her what she was making. And the woman said, well, you've got too much. I don't know why I'm instantly going into a Southern voice, but she's going to be Southern today. The woman said, you've got too much and this isn't going to be pretty. Can you imagine? And Jen said that I'm going to read this from her email. Quote, she had the audacity to tell me I was getting too much fabric and the blanket wouldn't look nice. I stared at her through gritted teeth and told her that it was a blanket for my 70-year-old father and to mind your own business. That's a good moment for both of them to Chris it up a little bit, to be honest with you. But I would have probably done the same thing, Jen, to be absolutely honest. I've got a snippy side. If you hit me the wrong way, I've got a temper. So if you cross me the wrong way, look out, because I've got a tongue on me. Anyway, she went home, she remade the blanket, and this is the outcome of that. A wonderfully large fleece blanket with the U.S. Navy pattern for her father, Ray. And she was so excited that she actually made one for her mother. And here is her very beautiful mom proudly showing the fleece blanket that Jen made her mother. And she said she went back to the store, she took that photograph and she showed it to the lady at the cutting counter and said, so there. I love that. So Jen, thank you so much for sharing that story with me. Thank you so much for your patience. I was going to open the next entire Neighbor's Corner segment with this particular story, but I wanted to give it, upon reflection, I wanted to give it its own little segment, especially during these weeks where I'm a little bit light on content. So Jen, thank you so much for that. Of course, Jen sent all of those photographs, and I do have permission to post those photographs of Ray and her sweet mom online. And thank you so much for sharing it with me. What a delightful story. And I know that you're going to hear in the comments from our other neighbors how much they enjoyed it. So thank you. And Ray, if you're watching, thank you for your service, sir. And I'm glad that your feet can stay warm. So we are still in the month of March, and in Happy Mail this week, I have to show you two great little cards that I received in the mail. Our neighbor Robin B. sent me this wonderful St. Patrick's Day card. It's very sparkly, and I love sparkle. Thank you, Robin. I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate all your cards. And all your sweet generosity with that. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. And our neighbor Sue D sent me this postcard that she made. And this is fantastic, you guys, because it is fabric. It's a blank postcard, but then she adhered fabric to it. And then I'm going to go in very close so that you can see this. And then she stitched this beautiful running stitch, focus, around it. Just amazing. And you know, I save all these cards, and this is delightful to have. This will probably be hoisted out next and become part of my permanent St. Patrick's Day decorations. But thank you both so much for sending those. I always love hearing from each and every one of you. And they just brighten my day, so thank you so much for those. I also received this week two wonderful packages from two of our neighbors of destashed items that I will be repurposing for giveaways. And they were truly treasure troves. Both of these people, some of the items sent from these people will be used in today's giveaways, as a matter of fact, because I love doing that. I love turning it around almost immediately. It's a way of saying thank you, I think. So thank you so much to Gail K. She sent me 2 boxfuls of charts and books and some projects that are in the middle of being they're works in progress that she is just not going to finish. And some of these things are really amazing. And as I process them and go through them, I will be bringing them to the fore for giveaways. But you guys, we're going to have some great giveaways on this channel over the course of the remainder of the year. I just have to tell you. And then also our neighbor Stitchin' Shay. Shay sent me several, like I think 6 or 7 Hades, actual printed, purchased Hades that she had in her collection that she said, I'm just not going to stitch these. There's just no way I'm going to get around to stitching these. Will you please use them for giveaways? And today we'll be using one of those for giveaways. And they're good too. These are big projects, but they're really, really wonderful and amazing. So Gail and Shay, thank you both for those destashed items. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, my collection of giveaway items now is chef's kiss. So thank you both for that. I do appreciate it. I keep saying doo-doo today. Speaking of giveaways, let's move on to the giveaways. First of all, we have a giveaway winner from last week. Last week, I showed you this adorable project bag and needle minder, sunflower project bag and needle minder. This is a perforated bag. It's like some sort of plasticky material, but it could be used for many things. Of course, a project, but you could use this for whatever you would want to. And the corresponding sunflower needle minder. The keyword for this was peace, because we all are hoping for peace in the Ukraine, the sunflower being the national flower of Ukraine. And pursuant to that, next week, the beginning of April, we are going to start the Mary Will Stitch Along that I've referred to in prior episodes, the Mary Will Sal. And I think in light of current events, I think we need to do a charity for the Ukraine, somehow in the Ukraine, and specifically children in the Ukraine. That's what's been on my mind lately. So if you have suggestions for that, please email me. I would love to have your feedback on that. I'm going to do my own vetting of that situation, but we'll be doing that with regard to the Mary Will Stitch Along, the Daffodil Stitch Along, and I will post that story, the clip of that story, to remind you what inspired it. But enough of that. Send me your ideas for children benefiting charities for the people of Ukraine. And the winner of this amazing sunflower project bag and needle minder is Laura N. Laura is a new viewer to the channel. She said in her comment that she watched one episode and then she went back and she binged watched the rest, which I find amazing. Oh, my stomach's growling. And wonderful. So thank you, Laura. Congratulations. Your name came up in the YouTube random comment picker, and I'm so happy that it did. I'll be sending this out to you when next I send out my giveaways at the end of the month. So now to this week's giveaways. I mentioned earlier that I received 2 amazing treasure troves of destashed items, and these first 2 giveaways come from one of those boxes, one of the boxes from Gail K. The first is a book by Jane Greenoff. This is the Cross Stitcher's Bible. This is an amazing book. I didn't take interior photographs of this book, but I can tell you that you will love this. It has a variety of descriptions of stitches. There are projects in here, some black work. There are alphabets. There are, well, here's an example. You can see the sort of thing that is in this book. This is a what I would describe as a traditional, there's an advent calendar, the items for an advent calendar. This is what I would call a traditional, comprehensive, all-around wonderful book for the new or experienced cross-stitcher. I could have gone into marketing, couldn't I? But the key word for this, if you would like to be considered for this, is book. Book, very simple. Another of those books in Gail K's shipment is this one. It is called A Very Special Craft Book, Great Works of Heart. Great Works of Heart. And I did take interior photos of this particular book. Again, it's rather comprehensive, but cross stitch is not the only craft outlined in this particular book. This has instructions on how to create paper roses. It has charts. It has how to create stencils, pillows. Here is an example of some of the things that are in this book. Afghans. This is just a more general craft book. It's a little smaller, but they're both hardbound. The key word for this is going to be, what did I say it was going to be? Works. W-O-R-K-S, works. Not heart. We've used heart before. And 2 or 3 times actually. So the key word for this is works, if you want to be considered for that. And then lastly, I'm not going to take this out of the wrapper. I have a photograph of it actually. Lastly is one of the wonderful haids that was sent by our neighbor Shay. This haid is called Meditation. It is beautiful. It is a rainbow mandala type thing. Mandala? Mandala. I say mandala. I don't say mandala. That sounds like mandolin. Mandala. A rainbow mandala. The artwork is by Elizabeth Welker. And of course, this is charted by Michelle at Heaven and Earth Designs. But this is a beautiful piece. It only has, it only calls for 90 colors, which for a haid is not that many. And it's just a beautiful piece. So if you'd like to be considered for this particular haid, the key word is meditation. Meditation. I love the word. I do it often. Meditation. So with all my giveaways, please be a subscriber to my channel. Please like this video. Please, what else is it? Be 18 years of age or older so that I can ask you for your address. And lastly, don't use any keywords that might flag people who are simply looking for freebies, like giveaway or winner or etc., etc. And those will be announced next week. Can you tell I got a new blow dryer? I'm so pleased. It's like, oh, the blow dryer that we had was like, I'm not exaggerating, it was probably 10 years old. Yeah, and you know, blow dryers have come a long way in a decade. Mm-hmm. And I have all kinds of little things for the end of it now. So, you know, oof, look at that. That's a good blowout. Anyway, enough of my hair. I like to talk about my hair. I'm a Leo. Moving on. Thank you for joining me this week. I hope that you enjoyed the video. A little bit shorter than normal, but I didn't have much to show you. But I always want to stop by and say hello. Thank you for visiting with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. I hope that you get some great stitching in, and I hope that you have beautiful weather, however your spring is manifesting wherever you are. I think that most of you are starting to warm up now. I hope you are. But have a wonderful week ahead, and until next time, take care. Don't forget to Chris it up when you have those moments of frustration. Take care and bye-bye.